I felt the first call into missions when I was finishing my freshman year of college. And I went home after college that year and that summer, and I just started studying Romans first and then Revelation. And when I got to Revelation, that powerful passage in Revelation 7, where there was a multitude for the Lamb from every nation, kindred, tribe, and tongue. It just grabbed my imagination. What if I could be part of how some people from an unreached tribe will end up in that multitude? I happened to attend a meeting where Marvin Goodman was talking. He was a missionary with Encompass. He talked about the pygmies, and I'm like, I looked into it. And really, the only thing we were doing at that time among unreached people was pygmies. So we weren't even doing anything. We were targeting them, but didn't have any workers. So I just kind of raised my hand and said, I'll do that. I'd like to do that. I lived in Africa for 10 years. I continued to work with pygmies until 2002. They didn't know anything. I was the first white person they had seen. I just started teaching from Genesis 1. I used a curriculum by New Tribes Mission. It just started from Genesis. It went all the way through to the Ascension of Christ. But I really wanted them to hear the gospel in their own language. So I always had translators. Well, that ended up being like Bible Institute for these guys. All of the translators ended up becoming pastors and evangelists. 2003, there was a terrible war, 2002-3. I came back from that, and everyone was just saying, there are just orphans everywhere. We need help with orphans. And we started Project Hope and Charity, the sponsorship program. Then in 2006, I really wanted to do something that was more anchored in the local church. And so that was why I started Hand in Hand. And that ended up being Orphans and Widows. And so that continues to this day, called Hand in Hand Orphan Schools. In 2014, Dave asked me to try and mobilize our fellowship to give to help with the church in Africa, because they were just really they were living through a terrible war. They needed food, they needed farming implements, they needed seed. That was how I ended up kind of dipping my toes in crisis response. Afterwards, Dave said, well, would you be willing to do a ministry in crisis response anywhere? We did a lot of crisis response in Africa and all around the world. My time in crisis response changed the way that I think about trouble. And I used to be one of those people that would say, man, look at those poor people over there. Let's hope somebody helps them. And then it's like, wait, that's what we're to do. I think the highlight has just been seeing the church mobilize to care for people in need.